Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's take a look here. It is Tuesday, the 9th day of April, National Cherish an Antique Day. Do you have any antiques that you cherish?
I do not.
You do, too. Your grandmother's tea set.
I don't think it's antique, though. I don't think it's
is.
old enough yet to be considered antique.
Yeah. Things from our childhood are antiques, Heidi. So they're definitely antique. Also, today is Name Yourself Day. I'm going to call you Heidi. How's that sound?
That would probably be a good idea.
It's also National Winston Churchill Day, National Chinese
I love
Almond
Churchill.
National Chinese Almond Cookie Day, National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day, and National Library Workers Day. All of those things happening on this Tuesday. Also, coming up on Tuesday, we reach out and talk to somebody every Tuesday, just because we can. We call my father-in-law. It's called Tuesdays with Charlie. We'll be chatting with him before you know
My
it.
favorite time of the whole week.
You know, I really do enjoy visiting with him. Sometimes he makes me nervous, some of the things that he comes up with. So get my finger on the old bleep button just in case. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. A British study found that married people are less likely to die young. I wonder why that is. Any theories, Heidi, why you think married people tend to live longer?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you just feel like you live longer.
No, I think it's because, if I were single, I wouldn't have anybody say, hey, you should go get that checked. That thing that you have right there, you should... But I am married, so I have somebody saying that, then I just ignore what you say.
Yes, you do.
It's like, you got a lump over here? Yeah, it's fine. I've had that for a couple years now. You should probably get that checked. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A man crashed not one but two cars Sunday on a residential street in Tennessee. A suspected drunk driver crashed his sedan around 3 a.m. He was stuck in the car until first responders arrived. After they pulled him out, he ran off and hopped into a fire support vehicle and drove away. As he drove towards the highway, he realized he didn't know how to turn off the emergency siren in the truck. When he saw police cars driving toward him, he turned back down the street. He ultimately crashed the truck in a front lawn.
Oh.
Police coaxed him out of the car and then tackled him to the ground. He was arrested. So it says this is a developing story. So I've got a link if you want to read all the details. But that's not a good plan. You don't do that.
Well, no.
You don't drink and drive, period. But then when you get caught, you're done. I mean, you don't jump in another vehicle and drink and drive more. I'm sure that's not going to go well for him, no matter what.
No, I'm pretty sure he's not going to get off with a slap on the
no
wrist
warning
for that
there.
one.
No.
Nuh-uh.
Bad idea. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Sad news, Heidi. Page 6 TV is coming to an end after its second season. So
I don't know what that is. Should I know what that is? Do you know what that is?
I was hoping you knew what that was. Page, let's pretend like we watch it and we really like it. Sad news, Heidi. Page 6 TV is coming to an end after its second season. I know.
After
Isn't
only
that
2 seasons.
I don't know what it is, but and if you do watch it, I'm sad to hear that, but I haven't heard of this. So I get a link to the story we could click if we cared and read all about it. R. Kelly told friends he was pleased with his performance with Gayle King on CBS. There are other people that thought that his interview did not go well, but he's like, no, I nailed it. I nailed it.
Exactly what I meant to do.
That was my interview right there. The interview's a bomb. And Lori Loughlin fan was seen on camera screaming, "Free Aunt Becky." last week outside the Boston courthouse where she was being
I
arraigned.
don't believe she's in prison, is she?
No, they
Or
were
jail
being
or
arraigned on
anything?
bribery charges. Anyway, free Aunt Becky. Her name is Lori. It's not. It's a character on TV, and you are just a character.
Wow.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s fans.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Mister, Scandal with Patti Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, your scoop of the day brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Mick Jagger is said to be doing well after surgery to replace a heart valve. Instead of can't get no satisfaction.
Well, that's good.
Now it's can't get no recuperation. Okay, maybe that doesn't work. He needs to recuperate for a while. There are people that are like, okay, when are you going to come back out on tour? Like, dude just had heart surgery.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Can you let him rest? I mean, there are people that are like freaking out because he had to cancel part of the tour. They're like, you got your heart fixed. Come back out and sing and amuse
Entertain me, dance,
Entertain
monkey.
me. I'm like, guys, come on. Are you a fan or you just want to watch this guy die on stage? Because I'm thinking it's a bad idea for him to be out too soon. This doesn't make any sense to me. So Friday marked the 25th year since Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain took his own life in Seattle. And that's the part that doesn't not make sense. I'll get to this other part. Dave Grohl plans to honor him in a concert this next week here, I believe. But this is the part that doesn't make sense to me. So I remember when that happened 25 years ago.
I do too.
But the Beatles' Can't Buy Me Love made it to number 1 on the charts 25 years ago as well. So wait a minute. 25 years ago. That's in the 90s. The Beatles hadn't been together in a long, long time. Why would that have been back on the charts in the 90s?
What was the song?
Can't Buy Me Love.
Well, wasn't there a movie out in the early 90s that was Can't Buy Me Love?
I don't know. Must have been. I have no clue. Because when I scrolled across that like just didn't make any
Maybe
sense
it
to
was
me.
80s. That was an 80s movie. I don't know why it would have been back in the charts in the 90s.
25 years ago this week is when that happened. So I don't know. Heinz unveiled a new condiment. It's been a while. Usually, you get condiments. There's ketchup, there's mustard, there's ranch, there's mayo. So is it time for a new condiment? Barbecue sauce would be a condiment. Time for a new one, Heidi? You know what this one is?
Suppose. I think I saw
Ranch.
this. Yes,
It's ketchup and ranch jammed together.
But you know what? People do that all the
I
time.
know, but they just finally said, hey, let's get
Let's
it
just
on
put it in one bottle.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? We sell ketchup. We sell ranch. Squeeze
Yeah.
it into the same bottle and let's make some money on this.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
Here's the issue you're going to have, though. You're going to have to make sure you have the right equation.
Ratio.
A
of
ratio,
ranch
not
to
equation. Yes.
ketchup.
Good job, Heidi. Thank you. The right ketchup ranch ratio. Because if you get it wrong, then people are going to say, no, this is no good. I'm going to make my own.
I'm still going to mix it.
I'm going to just keep buying my own. And then they're going to have to buy other stuff from you instead of that one.
I do actually like that.
I tried. A friend of ours was visiting, Ken, and he had me try ranch with barbecue sauce. I'd never done that before.
Really?
It was really good.
Huh.
So, and it was about 50-50. A little barbecue sauce, a little bit of ranch. Like when you're having appetizers, you're dipping stuff in there. That was, So what can we call it? Okay, they got cranch. How about branch? No, that's not going to work. A Louisiana high school teacher admitted to sleeping with 3 male students. She's received 0 jail time from the judge. I still don't understand how this is happening. And this is why it keeps happening. Because they're like, oh, it's a little
if there's no consequences.
slap on the wrist.
Yep.
If people were... Now, here's why I'm making such a big deal of this. If we reverse the roles, if that would have been a high school teacher who was a male teacher who slept with 3 female students, do you think it would still be 0 jail time?
Right.
I doubt it. So I don't understand why they're saying, it's fine. I mean, it's not. That's a teacher. Those are students. It's not fine, period. A 3D printed suit that flies up to 180 miles per hour made successful test drives in New York City last week. Cost about $440,000 to make this suit.
Holy cow!
Some movie fans thought the jet suit was a prop from an Iron Man sequel. Unfortunately for fans, there is no Iron Man sequel being shot in New York City. But the good news is, in the real world, they actually have a flying Iron Man type suit. Think they got one in my size? No, they probably don't.
I would like to see that, though.
No, you wouldn't. Imagine how many jets they would need to get me off the ground. Come on, guys. More thrust. More thrust. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? Afraid to open your own mail or even answer your telephone? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. You have rights. And we'll make sure you get them. Call and speak with Mike Habib, the tax expert who will handle your case at 877-78-TAXES or online at myirs.taxrelief.com. That's 877-78-TAXES or myirs.taxrelief.com.
And it's time now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
How you doing, Charlie?
It's a fine Tuesday.
It is a fine Tuesday. It's always a fine Tuesday when we get to talk with you.
I make your day.
You do. You absolutely make our day. So what kind of cool stuff we can learn about today?
Well, let's see here. Let's start with something simple here. You know them Post-it notes?
Yeah, I've heard of those, yeah.
You know they were created by accident?
I remember reading that. Some guy spilled glue on paper and then it came off or something like that?
Well, he was trying to make a glue, but it was too weak to glue anything, but it worked pretty good for this thing, so that's how it's come about.
That's pretty darn cool.
So that might be the only thing worthwhile today that you learn.
Well, I bet we're going to learn more worthwhile stuff, too.
But we'll go here and look at it. See, hey, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew was made after hours, so the workers and owners had something that mixed well with moonshine.
No
Really?
kidding.
So it mixes
I
with
read something
moonshine.
about that, too. That's kind of, they invented moonshine first, and then they had to have something to cut it, so they come up with Mountain Dew.
Huh.
They say this stuff doesn't taste very good. Let's make something else.
Have you ever tasted moonshine?
No, I have not.
It tastes like rubbing alcohol.
Is that why it's called Mountain Dew? Because they made moonshine in the mountains, and the Mountain Dew came from the mountains, too?
There you go.
Maybe.
But moonshine is terrible stuff.
It's pretty rough, yeah.
I can see why they had to have something to cut it with.
Well, now I'll have to try it. Try some with Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah. She's going to have to talk to her moonshine supplier. When he gets out in 5 to 10.
Hey, then Listerine, okay, they've been around a long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
which also I would assume mixes well with Mountain Dew.
Would you just stop? We love you, Mountain Dew. She's just being silly.
Well, anyway, the Listerine company created the term halitosis
Halitosis? They made up the term?
to market mouthwash.
No kidding. So that's not even a real thing?
Well, probably not. I don't know.
It just means bad breath.
It was invented as a surgical antiseptic.
Really?
Yeah, and then it was used to treat gonorrhea, too.
No kidding. So that's a little dabble do you there. A little Listerine goes a long way.
Take a little swig of this and pour some on your area down there and see what happens.
Nice.
Next time I
It's
see
like
somebody...
NyQuil. Does a little bit of everything.
Next time I see somebody buying Listerine, I'm going to wonder what they're up to.
Gonorrhea, huh?
Yeah, it's a-
Got a little drip down there, do you?
I heard on the radio that mixes well with Mountain Dew. We don't know that that's true. We made that up.
Okay, then I got one last thing here for you.
Thank goodness.
Thank God we're about done here.
Oh, yeah. What do we have?
You know what Lysol is?
Lysol, yes.
Okay, that was originally used as birth control.
I would think that would burn.
That's probably a bad plan, yeah.
Well, you put a little Listerine on your unit down there, that'll probably burn too.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Don't try any of the things you heard from Charlie today.
I can't imagine that would be a good idea at all.
I think it's a bad plan. You guys ready to change the subject? I've got a
Why would we
question.
want to do that?
I just don't want to. I got a question for you, Charlie.
Okay.
All right, Vincent van Gogh. Anybody that has one of his paintings, they got to have some money, right? Because those are really, really expensive paintings. And there's quite a few of them out there. But how many Vincent van Gogh paintings were sold during his lifetime?
None.
No, there was one. For bonus points...
To his mother.
Who bought that painting?
His mom.
No.
His uncle.
No, his brother.
Mother.
Vincent van Gogh's brother is the only person who ever bought a Van Gogh from Van Gogh. Everybody else bought him after he died. They're like, hey, is that dude that cut his ear off? I want to get one of those. That might be worth something someday.
Didn't anybody tell his brother, hey, don't buy anything because it ain't worth nothing right now, but wait till he dies.
Well, buy it now, and then it'll be worth something when he dies.
Imagine what that stuff's worth now.
Can you imagine?
That's probably a lot. I've got some paintings out there. They're worth nothing right now, but someday when I die, they're still going to be worth nothing.
I bet his brother killed him because he found out he's the only one that bought one.
Yeah, it's like,
Hey, I need some cash.
you told me everybody on the block had one. What are you talking about? I'm the only one with these weird paintings.
There you go.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us and educating our audience.
Well, I'm kind of a busy man, and I just work in my schedule.
We appreciate that. Can we call you again next Tuesday?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Adjusted for inflation, John D. Rockefeller would be worth 4 times more than Bill Gates.
Oh, wow.
Historically, Bill Gates is not the richest American ever. The distinction goes to John D. Rockefeller, whose vast assets, worth 1.5% of America's total economic output at the time, back in 1937, he would be worth more than 4 times what Bill Gates' wealth is today.
Cow.
And this story is from a couple years ago. Jeff Bezos, I believe, is the wealthiest person now. He was the Amazon dude.
Yeah.
So I think he surpassed Bill Gates. But this Rockefeller guy, I think he would still be the wealthiest because 4 times.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Interesting fun fact right here on the John and Heidi Show.
Here's a fun trip back to the 80s.
Surely you can't be serious.
Join us in Las Vegas for 80s in the Desert May 3rd and 4th. Hang out with other 80s fans.
International language of love.
Meet several 80s icons from the movies and rock out to awesome music from the 80s. Flock of Seagulls, The Romantics, Mr. Scandal with Patty Smythe, Thomas Dolby, Pretty Poison, and more. See the full list of bands and icons at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Today's fun with phobias is ideophobia. 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 What do you think that is? You have this, I think, sometimes when it comes to me.
Well, the fear. I was going to. Okay, so the fear of ideas, obviously,
Yeah.
but that's. I was trying to think of a different word.
The fear of new ideas is what it is. I have great ideas all the time, and then Heidi just shoots holes in them.
They're
it's like, we're not going to do that.
Oh my
this is
gosh,
such a
your
great
ideas are
What do you think of this?
ridiculous.
It's such a great idea, and you're like, no, you're not doing that. Okay. I'll solve all the world's problems some other day. Today's
not
fun
quite.
with phobias, ideophobia.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humor? You might like this. Early in the morning each day and every day, we share something weird to make people laugh at weirdgiftoftheday.com. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't even need to spend a penny. Just follow the page on Facebook and get a smile to start each day when we share the weird gift of the day. Not on Facebook? That's okay. You can see the weird gifts on our website too. weirdgiftoftheday.com. That's weirdgiftoftheday.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. According to police, 2 Arkansas men took turns shooting one another while wearing a bulletproof vest. We actually discussed this last week.
Did.
But I've got the details here now. It says here, as detailed in a probable cause affidavit, 50-year-old Charles Ferris and 36-year-old Christopher Hicks, they were drinking Sunday night on the back deck of Mr. Ferris's residence. And they came up with this idea. They're like, hey, you're wearing a bulletproof vest. I got a gun. How about I shoot you? It was a .22 caliber rifle, and they shot it into Ferris's chest. The vest stopped the bullet. Ferris was left with a painful welt on his chest. Then Hicks donned the vest while Ferris did the shooting.
Oh, wow. Such a bad idea. I was going to say, why would somebody be wearing a bulletproof vest while they're standing around drinking? But if you have a friend who's going to shoot you,
it's a good idea.
Probably not a bad idea.
So the one shot the guy one time. The other guy, quote, unloaded the clip into his friend.
Oh, my gosh.
Ferris subsequently sought medical treatment for his injury. Hospital workers summoned police. Both men were subsequently arrested in connection with aggravated assault, a felony. They were released from the jail on a $5,000 bond each, and they're scheduled for arraignment the 13th
but they
of May.
have a heck of a story.
Yeah. So nowadays, like, wait a minute. Aren't you the guy that was wearing the bulletproof vest and shot his friend?
And they're darn lucky that you only had a 22.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News on The John and Heidi Show. Now your moment of duh. Brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Moments after bonding out of custody on a grand theft charge, a Florida man burglarized a bunch of vehicles in the parking lot of the jail. Not a good plan.
No.
34-year-old Casey Michael Lewis was booked into the jail at about 4 a.m. following an arrest at a Walmart for grand theft, a felony, and other charges too. He bonded out of custody at about 9 a.m., and that's when police saw that Lewis was walking up and down the parking lot, stealing stuff right out in the parking lot.
Okay.
He was pulling on door handles in an attempt to enter unlocked vehicles. He'd stolen an iPhone and $547 in cash at the time that they caught him. Also some cigarettes, a debit card, and a driver's license from the automobile of a female victim who told police she accidentally left her car unlocked. He was arrested, booked into jail on burglary, grand theft, and possession of stolen property. So they let him out. Mm-hmm. And then they had to go out and arrest him right there in the parking lot again. Jeepers. Not a good plan. That's why it's today's moment of duh.
Is your credit card a good fit for you? How did you even get the card you have now? Was it mailed to you? Those are usually the worst cards. They typically have higher fees and rates. Someone has to pay all that postage to mail out millions of cards every day. If you like a better credit card, check out the website bettercreditcards.net. This is a great place to find the cards that are usually a better fit for you. BetterCreditCards.net. That's BetterCreditCards.net.
Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? Jumbo shrimp, deafening silence, cold as hell, and I'll even...
They're all
Big John Small, my nickname is one of these as well.
Right. They're like reversed.
It's called an oxymoron.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to call you. But what is the word for this?
Oxymorons. Oxymorons. It's a contradictory figure of speech. So, jumbo shrimp, deafening silence. And
yes.
Like I said, my nickname, Big John Small. So it's, big and small. There you go. That's these three things. I forgot what we were doing there for a second because I just realized you called me a moron. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show. This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. Our good news comes your way courtesy of radiotravelgroup.com. The trip is less than a month away now. The big trip for 80s in the desert. All of the details, if you're interested, at radiotravelgroup.com. Take a listen to this story. Heidi, I just love this. Kansas woman buys out local Payless store, sends the shoes to Nebraska flood victims.
Aww.
Hayes, Kansas is where we find this hero. A young lady there bought all of the remaining shoes at the store and then donated them to flood victims just north of her in Nebraska. Addie Tritt, 25, said she wanted to help others because so many people have helped her in the past. She said, I have been so blessed. There have been so many great people in my life who have inspired me. I see so many horrible things in the news. So many people have helped me when I was down. I just want to help if I can. The store is going out of business. The prices were way down anyway. So she's like, Some of the shoes were $1 a pair.
Yeah, that's
And she
fantastic.
negotiated with the business, said, hey, what if I just buy everything? What kind of
Right.
deal can I get? So a retail price of 204 pairs of shoes would have been more than $6,000. She says, I just hope this inspires other people to volunteer and donate if you've been blessed as well. I think that's really cool.
That's absolutely amazing.
And there's a photo of this young lady. She just looks like such a sweetheart. And I think it's so darn cool. I've got a link to that story in the show notes. It's a good news section. So if you click on the show notes for today, you'll find that there. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Also want to remind you, we do this little thing on Thursdays called Dear John Letters. I got no letter right now. So if you've been waiting and you're thinking, I'm going to wait till just the right time to send my Dear John letter, I want to make sure it gets through. I don't want all the competition.
No time like the present.
I don't want all the competition of those other good letters. Now's a great time. You can send your letter, and then we'll maybe even read that on Thursday. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Sounds like fun?
Sounds like
I
fun.
think so reach out if you've got a letter. And you can do that right through the website, johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.